I don't see you. All
Hello,
right, all
Facebook.
right.
Welcome to the well. There's Jomar J on Instagram.
Hello, everybody.
Go live with Jomar J. Is J your middle name?
It's the middle initial. Oh, are we there?
We rolling.
All right.
Hello,
Whoop, whoop.
everyone.
Hey, friends.
Hi, friends. Welcome to the well. My name is
Welcome to
Emily.
the well.
I'm your co-host.
I feel like we're in that one movie where everything's gray.
Everything's gray.
Yeah, and then it turns into color. I forget what it
Oh,
is.
that sounds. I think it's called The Wizard of Oz.
No, there's another one I was thinking of. What's
Oh,
Reese
that happens at the
Witherspoon?
beginning of The Wizard of Oz too.
Yeah. Anyway, my name is Jomar. I am an executive and mental performance coach. I work with entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, athletes, creatives around their mindsets in a way in which they're trying to achieve all the things they want to in the world. We get aligned and then we go get it.
There's just something weird happening with my audio. Forgive me. I hope that's not happening with everyone else.
Not to me.
Oh, it's really happening to me over here. And I've just got a notification. Live viewer comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Click on a comment to show it on the live screen. Okay, wow, they've upgraded their comment thing. Okay, well, hi everybody. Welcome to the well. You know, again, technology, not my strong suit. My strong suit is transformation. Again, my name is Emily. I'm a transformational leader. I provide transformation in the realms of life guidance and business coaching and consulting. And this is the well, where we bring you bite-sized wisdom bits to help you sustain the journey ahead, give you lots of food for thought, hopefully provide some supportive and thought-provoking conversation that helps you to enhance your own experience of life and be the fullest expression of who you are and the most optimal version of yourself. Today's topic is why we do not commit.
Commitment. Emily, tell me why don't we commit?
Okay, so I love this topic, and I have a lot to say in no particular order. So I'm just going to kind of share some of my thoughts around commitment. I want to preface it by saying I love that you suggested this as a topic. We touched a little bit on commitment last week. I read one of my favorite quotes around commitment by Shearson Lehman. And so you can go back and watch that episode if you're curious about what that might be. But I love this idea of, as coaches, we're in a practice, right? We practice coaching, just like a lawyer practices law. You know, a chiropractor practices, you know, spinal health. And one of the areas in which I feel I'm deep in my practice is around this, the practice of what commitment means to people and the impact that commitment can have on people in their lives. And what I've noticed in my practice, particularly over the last few weeks, because this has been a really live topic for one of the masterminds that I lead, female masterminds, the Wild and Wise Mastermind, is that what I've gathered and what I'm noticing is that a lot of people have a very negative association and relationship with the word commitment. And what I notice about that is it's like commitment has to fit within this certain box, right? So I have one client who she was expressing that, you know, she has a hard time committing to relationships. She has a hard time committing to places. She has a hard time committing to careers. And where I wanted to flip that on her head with her was, what if it wasn't that you were in a lack of commitment with something? What if it's that you are committed to variety? What if it's that your commitment is a commitment to ease or to honoring yourself in the present moment, you know? I think there's a really valuable distinction as we're talking about why we don't commit. If I had to like sum it up, it's like one of the reasons why we don't commit is because we let our feelings inform our choices and not our commitments. right? So there's a distinction between what is a commitment and what is actually a feeling. And like, where are we honoring what we're committed to, and where are we honoring how we feel in the moment? Now, with everything in life, there is a total paradox to the situation, because I was thinking about it as like a commitment as it pertains to marriage, or more specifically, a commitment as it pertained to my marriage, right? Because I'm now divorced. So technically, I broke a commitment. So where I was playing with this in my own practice was like this idea of, you know, where the evolution of my marriage went and inevitably getting divorced. What I realized was my commitment was inevitably to my own, like the commitment or the vow that I made. I gave myself permission to redesign what that meant. It wasn't like white knuckling it and stay committed at all costs, right? With new information and experiences that you gain and gather in your life, you are fully allowed to redesign what your commitment is, what it means to you. And so I think for me, like if I had to sum it up, I redesigned that what I was committed to was myself. I'm committed to self-love. I'm committed to honor. I'm committed to my cultivating the best relationship with myself. And for me, that meant redesigning the commitments of my marriage and inevitably having a divorce, creating a divorce. So that's kind of my 2 cents. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So a commitment is not a feeling. What's our energetic relationship with commitment, and where have we put commitment in a box, therefore thinking we can only commit to things that are hard or a struggle? And what are we actually committed to? And that there's a paradox. You're always allowed to redesign your commitments, particularly with new information. And that, yeah, this is just such a fascinating topic. So thanks for bringing it to the table.
You bet. I love that. There's lots to unpack there. And I think what you're getting at.
Hi, Chintia.
Hello. What you're getting at is sort of the implication. It's sort of a trick question, like why we don't commit. And the answer is we do commit.
Mm-hmm.
We're in constant commitment to something. We don't commit to other things. So why don't we commit is a trick question, because at any given point in time, in the moment now, and if we trace back to, let's just say the last 10 years, we've been committed to something. Our most basic commitments is a sense of security and safety. Our most basic commitments is a sense of, having a roof over our head, being able to, feed ourselves. So there's that's sort of what we're playing for at any given moment in time. And so we're committed to that on an everyday basis. However that plays out for us as parents, as business owners, as in our relationships, we're sort of playing to that often. And so this question of why we don't commit, that comes up because at some given point in time, once we sort of get our ducks in a row with the safety and security part of our lives, there's this almost inner calling that's sort of nudging us to be more, to do more. And that's where this question of like why we don't commit comes to sort of face us, and it sort of whispers at us from the tiniest place of like prioritization to marriage to what should I go for this year. And the tension eventually kind of pinpoints down to I think sort of what sense of self are you most deeply committed to. So when women ask me like, why don't guys commit, my answer to them is like, he's pretty committed to his sense of self right now. He's pretty committed to what his sense of freedom is right now, to what his sense of what his life should be right now. So if you're asking him why he's not committed, he's made it pretty clear that he can't commit. He's just not clear on what y'all two could be that he's not committing to. And so the question there is then, okay, what are our values ultimately that would align us to a greater commitment? Mm-hmm. So it's sort of a paradoxical lens to look through.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
That makes sense?
I mean, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. I love that. And it's paradoxical in the sense like most things in this life, right? And what it really boils down to is this ability to make a conscious choice. And I love that you brought up values, because it's like, how can we consciously choose to commit to something if we don't know what brings us joy and fulfillment, right? Beyond that, what you said, sort of like those basic needs being met, food, shelter, water, connection, family, whatever it is. Beyond that, it's like, what are the things that you value that are the bridge to you being your fullest expression, to you having the experiences that you want in life. And if you don't know what some of those things are, then you're going to be left to commit to something that is being informed from the outside world, like from the external in. What I should commit to. I should commit to a marriage. I should commit to doing post-secondary education. I should commit to getting my master's. I should, right? And I'm not saying you can't commit to all of those things. Of course you can, so long as they're being generated from the inside out. And so long as they're aligned with your values, so long as they're aligned with the things that are bringing you joy and fulfillment, and are really a tool to cultivate the fullest expression of who you are and the experience that you want to have as a human being on this planet.
Yeah. So I think an offering up here is like, well, next time sort of that question presents itself to you of like, why am I not committing to this? I think allow yourself to lean more further in that and ask the question of what am I about exactly at this point in time in my life? What am I up to? What are my values? What are the things important to me? And then what do I want to create in that? And then you can come back to that question. All right, well, now that I look back at this thing that I'm not committed to, then you have sort of a greater context around why you should or you should commit to it. Maybe then you'll find out actually it's not aligned to where I've determined where I've decided I'm headed towards. It's not aligned to where sort of this vision that I'm really pumped up about. It's not aligned to that. So now I can look for other commitments that would be much more aligned to that. So usually if you kind of zoom out, if that question presents itself to you and you zoom out more of like, what am I up to? What do I want? What is my vision? You can come back to that question with greater clarity.
I would throw into that to ask yourself what you mentioned, I think is so powerful, is what if you have this thing or this topic or this goal, this aspiration, and you're asking yourself, why can I not commit? One of the most powerful things you could do is really ask yourself, well, what am I committed to in the moment? Or what have I been committed to? And if you want to look at what you've been committed to, if you want to look at what your intentions have been, look at the results that you've created in your life, right? So you can look at, okay, maybe the thing that you can't commit to, maybe it's been because you're committed to comfort, or you're committed to ease, or you're committed to, so we're always, I love that you said that, we're always committed to something. So some of the probes, if you want to look to, why am I not committing? Well, why are you not committing to the thing that you say you want to commit to? And you can, do your inquiry so long as like the values and the things that fill you up. But also ask yourself, like, take an assessment, look around and like, well, what is it that I'm committed to, right? And is there some evolution or some growth available in that space where you could, redirect your energetics toward being committed to something that was more aligned with you, right? Anyways, just, just a genuine assessment of like actually owning, well, what am I committed to based on the results that you've created around you?
Yeah, that comfort piece is so good. Committed to comfort, that comes up a lot. And you got to decide, a lot of the guys that I've worked with is, when they're about to make a big decision around commitment to a person, to a partner, or a business decision, or whether they want to experience, greater intimacy in their relationship, there's always some sense of commitment to comfort of actually kind of like it right now. Like, the money's pretty good, or I kind of feel good right now. And if I step into this, I'm committed. I'm more committed to being comfortable than potentially looking bad and potentially being judged or potentially being looked down upon. I don't know that I want to commit myself to that danger, what I perceive as danger. So I'm more committed in this moment to comfort. And there's no judgment either way. You know, that's the key thing, is just to notice yourself where you're at. What Emily said, just notice what's informing your behavior around commitment. Don't judge it, and see if it's still true for you or not. You might decide, I'm not comfortable. I'm not about comfort anymore. I'm actually wanting to step out into this. Or you might say it's too soon. It's up to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that reminder that, like, if you could judge yourself into creating the results that you wanted to, you would have done that already. If you could shame yourself into actually being committed to what you think you should be committed to, you probably would have done that already. Because like that might be your go-to, or at least, you know, that's one of the things that we're sort of hardwired to. If you could shame yourself into creating results, you probably would have done that already. So what would it be like to like bring a little bit more like love and nurturing and kindness and space and insight around your relationship with commitment? See if there's something available for you there.
Boom. Let's drop it there before my neighbor starts to do some more construction and we can't hear each other anymore.
We'll be back next week, folks, Wednesday at 1 Pacific on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And we love you. Thank you for being here.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.